There were ponies whose hair changed color in the sun. There were ponies whose hair changed color in warm water and cold water. There were ponies that had makeup, right? That disappeared and reappeared when you put ice and hot water on their face. So like you could give them tiny little lipsticks or great big giant, you know, freaking Angelina Jolie looking lips on a pony. They were hilarious. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Back in the day, by the way, I'm running on like, 2 hours sleep in the last 5 days. So back at 5 hours sleep, let's be honest. Back in the day, the original ponies were these fat, squat little sons of guns with big old butts and big old heads and big old feet. Oh, cute. And the original ponies were all earth ponies. And they were all standing to the side like this. And they all had their heads down. They're like, no, no. And they were all very sad, and it was very cute. No. And their tails will come out really easily if you're brushing them. Whoop, tail comes out. Ah! And then your mom has to shove the pony's tail back in its butt. And by the way, we didn't know it was called a flank back then. So the cutie mark, there was no word for cutie mark when I was growing up. We called that the picture on their butts. And the first time I said, the picture on the butt at a convention, and there was a brony standing by, he was like, I beg your pardon, that is a cutie mark, and that is a flank. And I'm like, you're cute. So, what are you, 12? That's adorable. So, yeah, so the ponies were fat, and they were squatting like, no, don't touch me, no, small child gross, no. And their feet, they're collectible because their feet were completely flat. Those are known as the flat foot ponies. After the first round of ponies, when the second round came out with some of the more notable ponies like, Firefly and Moon Dancer and Glory and a bunch of, the more common like G1s people know about, after that, every pony produced after that had a concave foot. So there was a little concave in the foot. Now when I was a kid, I'd flip the pony over, and on the bottom of all the feet was stamped Hasbro, date at which the mold was made in, and the last foot, Hong Kong. And here I am, 7, reading this and going, Hong Kong's got to be the greatest place in the entire world. Oh my God, imagine Equestria. That's what I thought Hong Kong was. That's where ponies come from. Oh my, little do I know that, these are made by children in a factory who are going to die of 20 from cancer for breathing in fumes. And what? It's true. What? Oh, truth hurts. But the best part about getting a new pony, like on Christmas or wherever, was you get that pony and you look at it in the package and you flip it over and you look at the back and no, you have to take your time. Don't open it too fast, no. And you open that package up just a little bit and you go, okay, here we go. Crinkle. Oh God, that's some good stuff right there. The smell, this guy knows what I'm talking about. That smell of a factory fresh pony, that is the best smell. What? I know, right?
File to it and snort it.
Actually, there's a
I have a story about that.
There's a Goodwill not too far from my house, and about this time last year, I walked in, and there was this cabinet where they don't put things that are too nice to put out on the floor at Goodwill. They do an auction for. And I walk in, I'm like, auction craft, ponies. And it's this set of about 20 perfect Generation 1 ponies. Obviously, somebody got these, never played with them, put them in a box, and now they're like, what am I God, Goodwill, whatever. I'm like, they're beautiful, they're perfect, oh, beautiful. Like factory perfect curls in the hair, no dust on them or anything. Somebody put these in a closet for 30 years. I'm going, so I'm like sitting at this counter, like vibrating like this, and the lady walks over, she's like, hey, you need to see anything? I'm like, yeah, can I see those ponies? Yeah, sure. She starts pulling some ponies down, got them on the counter. 2 grown women, okay? 2 grown-ass women sitting here, and we're holding these ponies, and we're like touching and pulling the hair like the way you do when you're a little kid. We both just looked at each other dead in the eye, and without saying a word, we both just went. And out of nowhere, this other associate walks up. Oh my God, are we sniffing ponies? Guys, sniff some ponies too. And we're like, oh my God, this is so good. So 3 grown women just in the middle of a Goodwill. I wound up winning that. So yeah, I got some more ponies. Yay! Boyfriend's like, what the hell, man? I'm like, you don't understand. These are G1s. So he's like, yeah, I really don't understand. So yeah, ponies. Now, I was just complaining about, the fact that the ponies we're buying now are like, yay, big. That's the size of a baby pony from back in the day. And yeah, there were baby ponies, and they were cute. They ranged in all kinds of shapes and sizes. You had like, the baby ponies who were like, yay, we're cute and all, but we're not, super teeny tiny. It's like, okay, cool. So those were out for a few years, and they had ones that had like their first tooth. So in the mold was like a bump below their upper lip, and they painted a little bump white, so it looked like the pony's got this one dangling tooth just hanging out of the face. So this pony was like, oh, that's adorable. It's got one tooth, that's super cute with this one little tooth. Oh, it's cute. But then they kept using that same mold for heads on other baby ponies, but not painting in the tooth. So it's just this big like wart-like bump on the bottom of this pony's mouth. I'm like, what the hell? Hasbro, cereal. What the? I mean, go ahead and paint the tooth then. I mean, it looks really derpy. One tooth, just. And apparently ponies have huge teeth, because that was a big tooth. They also had ponies, and God, kids in the 80s were weird. Remember all those baby dolls that, like, when you fed them, they'd poop?
Yeah.
Yeah, what the hell is that about? Yeah, the least likable part about children. Let's package that in a doll and sell it. Oh, this is great fun, yay. There was a pony that you had a little squeezy bottle and you filled it with water, and he wore a little diaper, and there was a hole below his tail, and you put the little diaper with the Velcros on your little ponies, and you fed him the waters, and the water would go through a tube in his mouth back to his tummy, and when you wet his little bottoms, little hearts would appear. And I'm like, well, that makes this adorable, I guess. No, it doesn't. This is disgusting. So the pony would wet itself as soon as you fed it. I'm like, that is so gross. Not okay, Hasbro. Whatever. I'm collecting like 5 of these. So, my personal favorite in terms of like creep out factor, but still kind of cute, were the Wink and Blink babies, or the Betty by Eye babies, depending on which one you want to go with. These were ponies that had like the doll eyes that when you lay them back, they close their eyes, like they go to sleep, like And I used to, my favorite pony of all time was Wink and Blink Baby Gusty. And I got stories about this pony. But I used to take it to church with me when I was like bored. I'd be all like, ooh, I know I'm sleepy too. My girl would be like, stop that. No, she's awake now. See, she's awake. Oh, I'm so bored. So, yeah. Pony! Only reason I ever got through a Catholic Mass. Yay, pony! So the Wink and Blink ponies were cool because they had the Betty by eyes, so the eyes were round. They weren't like the lemon drop shape. They were these round, always open eyes, and they had eyelashes, and the eyelashes were meant to stop them. Well, they were cute, first of all, but they were also meant to stop the eye from rolling back in the socket. Well, if you play with something long enough, stuff starts to fall out, right? So the eyelashes would start falling out of these baby ponies' eyes, and after a while, the eyes would just roll backwards into the socket, so one eye be fine, the other's like looking in that direction, and it's all like, no, look at me. All right, we straight now. Stop it! And the eye just go, as you looked at it. So it's like, oh God, these ponies are possessed. Not so much. Ew. Yeah, God, Wink and Blinks. They were ponies that, their big marketing gimmick was you could turn their heads. Yeah, look, ponies' heads are on a seam, right? And if you knew what you were doing, you could wiggle that glue loose and every pony's head could turn. Right? We're not dumb, Hasbro, but it was like, look, they can turn their heads. Good job, Hasbro, for not gluing the head down. There were ponies that had tails that would grow when you brushed them. And it was, yeah, you guys know. And they were on a little spool, and like you brush the tail, and it'd go, so from a tail this short to a, and it made that noise over here, which is real cute. You know, it's like, I'm a little girl, this is my toy. Pony! This grinding noise as it comes out of the pony's butt. And to get the hair to go back in, you had to twist the head back and forth to wind it back up around the spool. So this pony's like, no, oh God, no. It's cracking like you're cracking its vertebrae the entire time. Yeah, it feels good. You're getting an adjustment. And the tail goes back into the butt. So those were fun. There were the Flutter ponies. How many people have seen the movie with the schmooze and all that? Okay, seriously, you guys? Seriously, you haven't seen the old pony movies? Oh my God, Dan DeVito's in this thing, all right? Fun story. My favorite pony, Baby Gusty, voiced by Bart Simpson. Just saying. So yeah, you watch this movie, it's all like, dude, that's totally Bart Simpson. Didn't change the voice or anything, Nancy Cartwright. It's just, wow, it's Bart Simpson coming out of that pony, dude. Yay. That movie is where we got the Flutter ponies, and the Flutter ponies were really cool. They were very thin and very delicate and very small, you know, and they didn't want anything to do with fighting wars and whatever. But they had these cellophane wings that were all bubbly and rigid and hard, and this little clamshell on their back that was like a spring. And when you press down the clamshell, the wings would go like flutter, flutter, flutter. And this was all well and good for the first hour you were playing with this sucker. And then the wings fell off. Every time, every GD time, every F-bomb inserted here time. And I had like 6 of these things. I had the whole set. Yeah, wings fall off. Because they were super rigid plastic and they would just snap. So if the wing fell off out of its little like holder, you could be like, all right, here we go, and slide it back in. You were good. But if it snapped, well, I guess my pony's just gonna fly in circles for a while because it's missing a wing. This is no me gusta, no me gusta. But they were really, really very pretty ponies. They were very pretty ponies. There were the Twice as Fancy Ponies was the first ponies to come out where the cutie mark extended over the entire body as opposed to just on the flank. The butt, the picture on their butt went over the whole body. So butt pictures everywhere, they had them. And from the Twice as Fancy Ponies, we get one of the influences for Fluttershy, an all-yellow pony covered in butterflies by the name of Dancing Butterflies. Posy is an earth pony who was the other inspiration for Fluttershy. All the ponies have inspirations from the old roots. So, you know your roots, you guys, know your roots. But yeah, the babies for those were mail order situations. So I had the baby Dancing Butterflies, and I had the baby Sweetberry, which was a white pony with red hair. She had little strawberries all over her body. Pony this big, $500 on eBay. Bam, instant sale. Whoa. And I was like, okay. So yeah, man, mail order ponies, they were kind of the way to go. Let me think. There were the sea ponies. You guys, I'm not talking mermaid ponies, and they made those, and they looked real dumb. Let me tell you about real dumb, real dumb. I don't know if it's supposed to be like a hippocampus thing they were going for, but it was a baby pony with like the mermaid body starting from like here. So, like in the 80s, mermaids all had like, you know, all this was covered in scales, and it's like, ew, ew, a dress made out of scales. But that's what they did with this baby pony. But because baby ponies have shorter arms, she just had these like nubbins sticking out like this, and it was real sad. And she couldn't actually move. She just kind of sat on her shelf and flopped over a lot. And I'm like, this is not a fun toy. It's really just sad. I feel sorry for the existence of this poor creature that is half fish and half My Little Pony. Meanwhile, the sea ponies were off having really cool adventures. I mean, dang, man, they were cool, right? So, sea ponies had a pony head, but like a seahorse body with a curly little tail, right? Now, the problem with sea ponies, and there were problems, was this. There was a hole in the top of the head, right next to the ear, right? And this was so, like, if the water got in the toy, you could squeeze it out. Well, of course, the second you realize there's a hole in the head and you can squeeze water, you're gonna fill that sucker up. So you're sitting in the tub all like, squeeze, all fat with water. And just squeezing pony water everywhere, so I got in trouble for that a lot. But it was like, you know, a dolphin. I mean, she's got a spout, and you're like, now, the thing is, though, in the bottom of sea ponies was a large metal ball, a steel ball, right? Or just metal. And this was meant to keep the ponies floating upright instead of floating on their side like a dead fish, because who wants to see a dead sea pony in their tub? Not me, not me. So they always floated upright because of this metal ball sitting at the bottom of their tail. But when you get metal wet, certain, you know, changes happen. So they would rust. And you wouldn't know this because you're just playing with your pony and you're like, you know, 6, whatever, 4, 5, I don't know. And you're sitting in your tub and you're like, yeah, we're gonna make the thing. Squeeze and fill and suddenly rust, blood red, just everywhere. You're like, ah! And you don't know to stop squeezing. It's, and your mom would say, what's going on? What is that? Like, rust. And that's when your mom had to take your toy away and you had to watch as she used a butter knife to cut into the neck of the pony between the seam and the body, to unhinge the glue, to take the head from the pony, dump out the metal ball, and lay it in, wash it out, put the metal ball back in, and pop the head back on and hand back to you. I don't like bath time anymore, no. So sea ponies got to live on land for a while because I was terrified. So, and there were little baby sea ponies, and they were really cute. The big sea ponies came with this clamshell holder. I'm telling you guys, for $5, we got way more back in the day. I'm just saying, all right? So this clamshell was a big clamshell and a little clamshell attached to it with a little hole where you stuck your pony when you weren't playing, so it wasn't just living in the bottom of your tub. That's convenient. Also, suction cup on the back. there it is, stuck to the side of your tub, instant toy. What's up? The baby sea ponies came with little floaty rings, like they didn't know what they were doing yet in the water and they needed assistance. Oh my God, are you kidding me? And they're all like shaped like turtles and dolphins, and you put them in the little floaties and they're just like, yeah. What's up, yay? Mom's bleeding again, yay. They had ones that would change color if you left them in the water. So like their bottom part would be a different color, but the part sticking out of the water would be a different color. You'd be like, whoa, science! But if you leave those in the sun, they just turn one bad color and never turn back. So don't do that. Don't leave your ponies in the sun. Let's see. Let's talk about some of the things that were. God, there were so many really cool ponies. I mean, name something, a fad. There was a pony for it. So, what? Yo-yos? Yo-yo, there were. I have 2 ponies that have yo-yos on their flank. I have 2. One's name is Yo-Yo, actually. Imagine that creative naming. Actually, his name is Skateboard. God, don't you try to put him in a corner. Anyway, don't you try to define and judge him. So, where was I going with that? I forgot. I'm tired.
Fads for everything.
Fads for everything. Thank you. So like, there was a huge fad for like tropical stuff, right? So there were tropical ponies, and they were all like super bright colors, and they all had like different tropical things on their tail, their flanks. They were super cool and tropical, and they all came with like coconut smells and stuff. And ew, this one smells like coconut. Ew, this one smells like pineapple. Neither of which actually smell like a pineapple or a coconut. They just stink. And make all your other ponies stink. There were ponies that rock and roll ponies. You got rock and roll, and they were so ugly it's not even funny. They were like super neon colors, and like part of their hair would be curly, and the other part would be crimped. And the brush that came with them was a little electric guitar, and it was super sad. That's not gonna work.
It's very loud. This is too loud.
Sure?
Hi, everybody.
I couldn't hear you in the back.
Can you guys hear me in the back okay?
They couldn't hear that.
Can you hear me? Yeah, you can hear me. Okay, we're good. We're good. I'm projecting.
I was trying to help.
Well, thank you, everybody, staff. Thank you. Woo! All right, so there was a fad for everything. There was one pony that I really wish I didn't sell just because it was super cool to look at. It was like one base color on the body, and then they took a paint and they swirled the paint around the pony. So it wasn't a zebra, it was something completely different. It was just this swirl of color around this pony's body. And then you still got a cutie mark on top of that, and the hair was like stripes in multiple colors. That was super cool. There was a mail order pony that I had that went for $780. I'm telling you guys, ponies are collectible, or were back in the day. That was the Flutter pony body, so small, petite, and cute. But instead of having wings, what they did was something different with the hair. And her name was Zigzag. So if you want to look this up online, she's really cool to look at. Instead of having like a stripe, a vertical stripe in the hair was striped, but horizontally. Which means that the hair had to be dyed in a horizontal pattern and put into the pony so that the stripes all stayed the same. So it was just stripes going this way instead of stripes going that way. And it was super, super cool. Blah, 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 blah. They came out with the Sweetheart Sisters in the early 90s. Sweetheart Sister body type is what like Celestia and Luna and all the long, lanky, long-necked princesses are based off of. Thinner heads, thinner bodies, longer hair, straighter hair most of the time. Although the prom night ponies came out, and they had big poofy prom night Texas hair, and they were super cute. Just hair, giant poofy hair. And they came with a prom dress, which was actually just a scrunchie for you to wear. Scrunchies, you guys, scrunchies. So her prom dress was something you put in your like oily, greasy, gross little kid hair and then put back on your pony grass. Yeah, not me, all like, that stays on the pony. So, I understand about collecting stuff. I'm gonna give this one a haircut, snip, snip. So those were all really cool and all, but then they started doing things that kind of creeped me out a little bit. There was one of the bride ponies, which were all white ponies, because brides were all white, which were the only ponies to come out that were all white, were the bride ponies. They were super cute most of the time. They came with like a veil, and they came with a ring, and they came with a wedding cake, and the ponies didn't have a groom, which is really sad. So if you had a bride but no groom, it was really sad because she was always waiting. always waiting, forever waiting. So gross, Miss Haversham. That's what that pony was. Dickens. So they came out with one though that was supposed to be extra fancy. You guys, secrets are happening back there. Extra fancy because she had these giant eyelashes, like fake eyelashes put on, but they were all the same length and they went straight out in one direction and it curled up very dramatically. So a machine obviously pressed these eyelashes into a shape and it just looked terrifying. The effect was not okay. It looked like a spider was like trying to dig its way out of the pony's eye socket. It was really not a good thing to look at ever again. So don't look this up. No. And they did this a couple times on princess ponies and whatnot. It's like, no, do not want, no make use that, no. They released ponies that had jewels for eyes, and those were really cool for about a week, but the second you rubbed off that like layer of opalescent shine on the jewel, then they had like cut marks and scars in their eyes. It's like, okay, well, you're officially a villain now, just so you know. You're a bad guy because you're creeping me out. Sorry about that. Not so much. Let me think about all the different ponies. There were so many ponies. You got baby ponies. Let's talk about baby ponies some more. So we had the original like baby ponies. They were cool and all, whatever. But then they're like, okay, not baby enough. So they came out with like newborn ponies, and they were even smaller, and they were super, super cute. It was like, oh, look at the tiny little pony with its tiny little feet. So they sold those for years, and they're like, hey, idea, newborn twin ponies. And they started releasing sets of twins that came with like a little changing table, or a little nursery stand, or a little bassinet. And they were super cute, and the twins, like, if one's hair was pink and the body was yellow, the other one's hair would be yellow and the body would be pink. And their names were like Noodles and Doodles and Tiddly and Winks and things like that. They were cute. There was a those were really, really cute, and they sell really well on eBay. It's sad. But those were really cute, but then they decided, you know what, these aren't baby enough. So the last, I should have brought one with me, because I still have it. The last baby they put out was so freaking tiny, and had these big old fat stubby legs with no space in between the legs. I'm like, how is this thing supposed to move? There's no room for bones, it's just these little stumpy legs. Big old face and a tiny itty bitty whittle nose and huge eyes and hair. Like these super tight ringlet curls because it's a newborn play. And it's so freakishly small. The packaging was regular size packaging with this tiny little baby. And I was like, I must collect them all. And they were so cute, so small, so tiny. So the uber newborns, what preemies? I don't know what the thing was. But it was super tiny. And it was cute. Now, they, around, I want to say 1991, Barbie started putting out, Mattel, you know, the other toy company, started putting out some pretty horses for Barbie to ride, and it had like long pink hair and purple bodies. Obviously, it's supposed to look like a My Little Pony, but it's not. We're totally not ripping off your junk. No, whatever, it's a Barbie toy. It's Barbie. Barbie, what's up? So Mattel puts out this thing, and I got 4 of them, and I didn't even want them, and they went in a closet, and I didn't even touch them. They were supposed to be My Little Ponies all grown up, and they were horses, full-blown giant horses. And like if it was a Pegasus, the wings would be huge, and the wings were really cool. If you ripped them off and used them for something else, that'd be cool. But like they were just large plastic horses. There was nothing My Little Pony about it. They were airbrushed, you know, to look like My Little Pony. They had long hair like a My Little Pony, but it looked nothing like, it was a freaking horse is what it was. It had hooves. It didn't have big old fat feet. It had freaking hooves, man. And I'm looking at the packaging, and it says My Little Pony all grown up. Look over at the shelf. The family set, which had come out like 3 years before. Mama, daddy, baby. All grown up. Family set, all grown up. Family set. Are you telling me, Hasbro, that we got fillies having fillies?
Yeah.
We got colts having colts, are little tiny, but are you telling me this is like preteen woohoo going on? Because if this is a My Little Pony all grown up, then what's going on over here with, you know, Mr. and Mrs. fill in the blank? You know, Mr. and Mrs. Cake. Just say it. That's how you make a Pegasus. Yeah. Yeah, not so much. So they discontinued those pretty quickly, and I was like, thank God. Fling, do not want, do not need in Life of Sin. Nope. In fact, one of them, they all had a little gimmick behind them to make you want to buy these things. One of them was a perfume secret, all My Little Pony all grown up. And by that they meant there was a hole, a cavern dug into their flank, and the cutie mark was like a jewel on a hinge, and you swiveled the hinge up, and there was this white gelatinous cream substance inside, and it was solid perfume. And I'm sitting there like, let me get this straight, Hasbro, let me get this straight, wait. I know I'm only 9 and all, but wait. Let me point out the flaw in what you're trying to sell me, a young woman, your target audience here. I rotate this metallic object embedded in the side of this adorable horsey thing, reach into the cavern on its body, scoop out gelatinous white pus-like substance, and smear it on my person? Not so much, man, not so much. This is not a fun toy. No, I'm just saying. Ugh, I once wrote them a letter like, Dear Hasbro, please stop insulting my intelligence. I'm 9, I like cats, love Amelie Belcher. And they sent back a thank you for your letter. We do not have time to respond to everyone. And I'm like, yeah, you didn't even read it. Whatever, you just insulted my intelligence again. Now I'm 10, what's that? Pony. Let's see, more mistakes of the pony world. They released quite a few, not that many, but quite a few ponies that were done in the rearing position, all like, ooh, like that. Now that's all well and good if you live on a perfectly flat area, and you have perfectly flat tables and perfectly flat shelves, and you put that pony up on that shelf and nobody touches it, all right? Because 99% of the time this pony's gonna get black marks on its nose, on the hooves in the front, because it's just gonna go, oh, well, this is happening, woo! And hit the ground, and bam, you've got, marks all over its face and whatnot. So all these ponies have these big marks from falling down and be like, oh, here we go, bam, here we go, bam, because it's listing on 2 little points. The worst was when they had the flocked ponies. I said flocked, okay, flocked.
There's one of those in the dealer's room.
There is? Ugh. These things are fuzzy. They cover them with a coat of glue and then blast them with this flocking so that they're fuzzy. And they were called So Soft ponies, and you're like in the commercial, supposedly you're supposed to take it and go, ah, like that. And I'm like, I hated the flocking so much that when I was like 7, I tried scrubbing it off of one of my ponies. Did not work out. He looked terrible when I was done. Big patchy spots gone, other parts just fluffy as all get out. So look, bad times. But when you had a rearing pony that had extra like fluffles stuck to the bottom of his feet, not only did it, not have any balance, now it has no traction. So it's like, oh, there we go. So I made a walker for my pony. And I pretended he was old and he was angry. And my dad thought that was hilarious. And he had a little horn and everything, and get out of my ways, and I hate young people, things like that. So he had a walker to help him stand up. So let's see. Now, tomorrow I'm doing Draw All the Generations, so I don't want to get too much into like what happened when G1 stopped being made and the horrible things that came after G1 died. I like to pretend there was some kind of nuclear holocaust that we just don't know about, and the things we saw come out after G1 were like the mutants that like escaped. God, they were ugly. Ugh. And of course when G2 came out, and these things were ugly. These things were ugly. They looked like a giraffe had sex with a llama, and just, not a good situation, just look. And their eyes didn't even look in the right directions. They were just like, hi, I'm here, brush my hair. I'm like, no, strange pony, no, stay over there, please. And of course, because I collected ponies for so long, people would be like, hey, Emily, check it out, I found my little pony at the store, I got this for you. Thank you so much. So glad to have this in my hands right now. Hey, dog that likes to chew on things. Look at that. That dog just ate my pony. That's a damn shame right there. Good girl. I'm trying to go bury it. Right, so, my godmother comes home. Why is there pink hair all over the front yard? No clue, Pat. No clue. I got no clue. Dog ate my pony. Bad girl. Good dog. I still see pieces of its face. The ponies that came after G1, not a good situation. There were so many different things you could get for ponies too, and I just wanted to drive home to you guys how cool ponies were back in the day. Also, where the heck were you guys? I'm just saying, back in 1992 when I was like, considered weird because I was 12 and I still had ponies on my shelf and was actively trying to like buy other people's ponies off of them, like show up my allowance, be like, all right, okay, seriously? All right, you got a Firefly in there and I'm willing to go as high as $7. All right, that's $2 above market value. I'm just saying. And my friends are like, what the hell's wrong with you? I'm just saying, you got a Firefly. I'm just saying. Look, you know what? I'll give you 9 and I'll also take those petite ponies off your hand. Huh? Oh, you drive a hard bargain. Yeah, but yeah, where were you guys? New Hampshire? Yeah. How many of you weren't even born yet? Be honest. Yeah, that's what I thought. God. So, like, hi everybody. So, had I known, if you had come to me at 14 years old and said, all right, and 15 years, you're going to be standing in front of a group of like-minded people who love My Little Pony more than you will ever love My Little Pony, and they think it's cool, just so you know, this will pay off. I've been like, shut up and stop making fun of me. It's not nice. Yeah, so ponies were not considered cool back in the day, by the way. You collected them, and you hid your shame, It wasn't something that you went to middle school with and said, hey, you guys, check out my new pony. Everybody be like, what's wrong with you? We're listening to In Suck over here, seriously. Oh my God, who's awesome? Justin Timberlake. He'll never amount to anything! Come on, ponies. So, I was right about one of those. So, God, I love Justin Timberlake now. So, yeah, now he's cool. Middle school, not so much. Yeah, so... Yeah, I don't want to get too far into what happened after the ponies because that's for tomorrow's panel. This is me just complaining. So there were like things you could get. There was like the Dream Castle you could get, and that came with Majesty, who's the pony that Rarity is based off of. One of the ponies Rarity is based off, the other being Glory for her color scheme, who was one of the first unicorn ponies. So you could get this place that, no, it was really cool, and there was a castle, and had a little thing, and ponies can play, and they're like, you can take a little elevator, by pulling on a string, you can make the elevator go, so by the time you got the elevator to the second floor, your pony had fallen over. But whatever, she made it, right? She's drunk, go home, Majesty, you're drunk. Oh, your bed flop, yay! There was the Paradise Estate, which I wanted so hard it's not even funny, but they never had it at Toys R Us when it was my birthday. I'm like, Mom, why don't you order these things? I'll do that for you. I'm 9, I know how these things work. Tell her, come on, let's go to Toys R Us. Paradise Estate was like a giant ranch home, and it had a swimming pool and a nursery and all kinds of really cool stuff. And it was just a big-ass ranch house that your ponies could live in, and a stable. There was the stable. Back in 1980, I want to say 4, they released this cardboard and vinyl stable with a handle on it, and there were slots for your ponies to go into, and then you folded the front up and you snapped it on the back, and there were pictures of all the happy cartoon ponies all like, yay, yay, sitting in their stables. When you open them up, here were your G1 ponies going, no, don't look at me, no. So the outside was made of lies. So that thing was cool. There was the Pretty Parlor. It looked like a little horse trailer, but when you opened up the front door and undid a latch, the whole thing folded out like this, so that you could have your pony in there and you could brush its hair, and there were little outfits. There were outfits you could buy. You guys, there were little outfits, like little bathrobes with a little shower cap and little fuzzy slippers that your ponies could wear. And it's like, are you kidding me? And you would immediately lose one of the fuzzy slippers, but oh God, whatever. So your pony would wear 2 slippers at one time. There were little princess outfits, not so much, but fuzzy slippers and little bathing caps. Are you kidding? Yes, put that on my pony. There were bathtubs, claw-footed bathtubs and little shower curtain that ran around the edge that you put your pony in there and then press this little squeezy thing, and the water would go and give your pony a bath, and your pony would just sit there in the tub if it was an older generation pony, they'd be like, while they just got wet. It's this is the happiest shower I've ever seen, you guys. With a little shower cap on, and all the hair would be drenched except for right here where the shower cap's on, and it's super cute. Time is, I just want to make sure I'm not going over, because we can talk about how many different kinds of ponies there were all day. We have 15 minutes left. There were, different places. I had there was the Sweet Slipper Ice Cream Parlor. One second, I'll tell you that. The Sweet Slipper Ice Cream Parlor was a giant baby shoe that folded out into an ice cream parlor, and it had like a little, what do you call this, a counter. It had little tables and chairs that your ponies could actually sit at. It had little like ice cream doodles that you could give them, and they could have ice cream. It'd be super fun, and no. And that was cool. Oh, and the front, because it was a cutout with like where the little band goes across the toe on a baby shoe, it was like the outside window, so your pony could like take orders through the hole in the shoe, and it was like, ah! Are you kidding me? My pony's sticking his head out. Oh, what? And it was super cute. Yes.
Do you remember the one? There was like a set of them, pink, purple, and blue, and they were ponies. Their tail, like you would like wind them up, and then their tails.
Yes, those were the topsy tail ponies.
Yes.
They had a big knob on their chest. It's like, what the hell is that about?
Yeah,
you wind them up, and what you're winding up is like a spring load situation. When you let it go, their tail would go freaking insane, twirling. And it's just like, I used to pretend they were helicopters, like that. The tail would just swing. But if you wound them up and then let them loose on the table, they vibrate and dance in a circle like this, and they'll have faces like. So when they're dancing, it's like, and then eventually run out to be like, so you have to wind back up. But yeah, I still have one of those, and yeah, I don't like to wind it up too much because those mechanisms do get old because it is a rubber-based situation. But yeah, those were a trip. Like I said, I used to be a like helicopter. Let's go. That's your magic power. There were ponies that, the Topsy Tails, Big Brother ponies. Oh God! Back in the day when racial sensitive products for children didn't exist, the Big Brother pony that was my favorite was the Native American pony. He was orange with white hair and a blue streak in his hair. He has teepees on his butt. And he came with a giant feather plastic headdress. Yeah. And the name they gave him was Wigwam. Now, as an adult living in the new millennium, I can go, ooh, that's not okay. But in 1987, Wigwam, whatever, Indians. So I'm like, oh God. But yeah, Wigwam was my favorite. Boy pony. God, there were so many different things you could get for ponies. What I'm trying to hammer home is there were more than just, hey, look at the exact same pony you bought last month, but look, we added some butterfly wings to the packaging. Give us another $5. That makes me mad. That makes me mad right there. Yes?
So, did they have anything with villains?
Well, villains in the Milo... Let me explain the first villain of the My Little Pony universe. Huh?
Was it Tiger?
I think so. It's been a very long time since I've learned. Yes. Okay, for those who here has seen the very first My Little Pony movie?
Escape from Nightmare Castle.
Escape from Nightmare Castle.
Which one is that?
The pilot for My Little Pony.
The pilot for My Little Pony.
Is that the one like Tiger Lady or?
No, that's Katrina.
Oh, yes, I
yeah,
remember
Katrina.
that.
Okay. The first one though was Escape from Nightmare Castle. Let me just set this up for you. Late 8 years old, right? No, more like 5, late 5 years old. This thing is Japanese animated. Okay, so the animation is super tight and everything looks really good and the ponies look awesome. They look really good. And you know how the Japanese do. They're all about scaring the crap out of children. They're all about it. So here's the opening shot. Me going, yay, pony, yay. Rent it from the video store that's, attached to the grocery store like you do. Yay! Sitting in front of the TV, yay! Ponies, my little pony, yay! Here's Applejack. Applejack being the only one, the original, survived to the end of the series. I like to say she won the war. There's Applejack, and she's sitting underneath the apple tree picking up apples with her little mouth and put them in a basket. Here comes Firefly, and she's flying way too fast. Oh no, Firefly's gonna hit the tree! Bam! Hits the tree. Applejack's bucket of apples falls in her head, and Firefly's all like, "It's okay, I'll make it better," and licks her cheek. I'm like, lesbians. And, and it's super cute. And it's like, oh, everything's all cute and happy, and there's movie ants are like, ha ha ha, and their cotton candy like, ha ha ha, and everything's so cute and adorable. Out of freaking nowhere, over the mountains comes this storm, lightning. They're like, oh no! Over the mountains comes a chariot being driven by dragons. I am not kidding you, dragons. And they're breathing fire and they're screaming and they're roaring. The chariot is this guy who's like half lion, half crocodile, and all not okay. And in next to him is Spike. Not cool Spike. Spike. The most hated character in all of original My Little Pony fandom. Just, ugh. God. His voice was like nails on a chalkboard. His design was all over the place. He was just not a good time to look at. So here's Spike next to this chimera-looking son of a gun who's ripping the hell out of these dragons. They're flying over the mountains. The ponies are like, no! And they're running, they're screaming, they're coming down, they're trying to pick up the ponies. The ponies are bucking them in the face. I'm going, what's going on? A minute ago we were licking apples off of each other's cheeks. What just happened? The dragons grab the ponies and they start flying off. The ponies are screaming, yeah! And the other ponies like, and everybody's like upset. I'm like, no! Next thing you see is the interior of an evil dark castle. The ponies are chained to the ground, iron shackles around their neck. They're sobbing and crying and shaking. I'm going, what's going on? It pans over to the devil. I'm not kidding you, the devil, sitting in a throne, petting a beating heart inside of a black sack and going, shh, soon, my precious, shh. I'm like, ah! He opens up the sack and a black rainbow comes out, envelops the ponies, and as they're screaming, you can't see them anymore, these giant heads rear up, and the ponies have been forcibly turned against their will, screaming the entire time for mercy, into dragons, which are like dripping, like, you know, just mud, flesh, and these giant saber teeth and glowing red eyes. I'm going, that was Moon Dancer! And that is the first My Little Pony movie. So why other people didn't get why My Little Ponies were BA, I don't know. You know, because that's the ponies I remember. So in terms of did they make villain toys? No, I don't think they did, unless you count like the that one toy from Legend that came out, Tim Curry's character, because that's pretty close to what that sound gun looked like. So yeah, it was scary and it made me sad in my tummy and it was bad. But then we got the Sea Ponies and they sang a song and it was okay. Yay! So that mid-'80s fascination with the 1950s, they had like a shoo shoo you kind of song. I was like, what the hell? But shoo shoo you. Yeah. So that was the first movie. The next movie was the Katrina movie, which I don't remember very well. But then the one after that was the one with the schmears, which is really good. And the schmooze was this purple stuff that would take over everything, and they lived where it was dark, dank, and and they just swept over the land, and the ponies, like, the home was covered in it, so they had to go, just leaving this purple, gross desert in its wake, and there was nothing to eat, and it was bad. It was like, the schmooze was also sentient, so it was like the Blob. And it was like, oh no! And these three witches, who one of them I think was Bette Midler. I'm not kidding. Who were actually pretty freaking funny. Their plan was to get rid of the ponies because they wanted the world dark, dank, and dreary the way they liked it. So yeah, they totes were trying to turn the world dark, dank, and dreary by covering it in this purple crap that was sentient. So only the Flutter ponies and their magic wings that fall off could stop this snooze. So that's a good movie if you guys haven't seen it, just in terms of your pony history. We got 10 whole minutes left. Who has questions about G1 ponies in general? Yeah?
When did they stop making G1 and when did they start making G2?
I want to say, because I have blocked this out of my memory. You know, this tells you how much I research this kind of thing before coming to an all pony show. I can tell you that I stopped getting new G1 ponies about 1992. And the Generation 2 ponies came out, I want to say, around 95. So there was about a 3-year lapse there, and when they came back, they were not okay.
If I catch up to that, like, it wasn't kindergarten, that was good. Every week, I would get a new My Little Pony.
Yeah.
The only one I remember was one that would say, comb my hair.
Yeah, I got that in Spanish.
That's the only one that I remember, like, toy-wise, and I don't even know where they are. But,
Yeah. There were ponies that would talk, like she's saying.
So I got the G1 ponies.
Yeah, that's definitely a G1 pony. Mine, my grandfather got for me in Spain. You press it, it's on like, "Pímame." And I'm like, what the hell does that even mean? And my apartment manager speaks Spanish, and I was like, Gloria, can you tell me what the hell this pony's saying? And she's like, oh yeah, "Pímame." Okay, that means brush my hair. And then like she listened to the next phrase, and she listened to the next phrase, and she listened to the next phrase, and she's like listening, and she goes, dude, they're speaking Castilian Spanish. I have no clue what's going on. This pony is speaking like, you know, super European Spanish. So yeah, one of these is brush my hair. Beyond that, who knows? So mine speaks
This is like, comb my hair. I'm pretty.
I'm pretty.
I'm
pretty.
Yeah. I'm pretty. Like, you would say that like,
I'm pretty. I'm pretty. Vain much God. There were ponies that glowed in the dark. There were ponies that were made of clear, like glitter gel and had big stars within their body. You could see right through them. It was really creepy as all get out, but the stars would glow. There were name a way to make money off of a child, and they were putting that out there, man. They were totally taking advantage of the market, and I was that kid who was eating it up. I remember one of my teeth was loose, and my mother came to me and said, when that tooth comes out, you get $1 from the not a quarter, $1 from the tooth fairy. And I was all like, all right, cool. Let me do some 4-year-old math here. Wait, I got this. Wait, dollar equals pony. I need $5 to get pony.
Snuck that on my teeth.
I've got. Let's see, piggy bank has $2, and then I have $1 hidden here. Okay, so that's $3. Okay, and then $4. Okay, so if I lose another tooth by next week, next to this tooth, that'll be $5. Okay, cool. So then I went to my dad's garage, and I like opened the door like this, and I go in, and I find this big, greasy, disgusting toolbox. And I open that sucker up, and I grab this greasy, disgusting pair of, like, just rusty pliers, walk back into the kitchen, and go, Mom, what? And she's like, the hell? And she takes these pliers from me, and she's like, what do you want me to do? And I just went, and my mother, as she tells the story, it went a little something like this, the way she tells the story. She opened her mouth, and I was like, this kid's crazy, man. She's never gonna let me put these things there. Why'd she bring these to me? Okay, she washes them off. And, all right, here we go. Puts it in the mouth and grabs a hold of the tooth and starts to pull and then slips. And I remember it went, which in your own head sounds a lot bigger than it actually is, And my mom went, no way this kid is ever gonna let me try that again. I just lost the opportunity to pull this kid's tooth out one day. No, she's never, and then I went, and my mother went, my daughter is so brave. She is so brave. What she didn't know was in my head was pony. It's for the ponies, for the herd. So she pulls the tooth out, and she was so impressed. She's like, you know what, get in the car. We're going to the store right now. I was like, pony! Like bleeding with a little, what do you call it, paper towel shoved in the hole, like, ah! So I got a new pony that day. Yay! And the next day, my mom finds me back in the garage, and I've got like a hammer. I'm going, she's like, stop it, have you lost your damn mind? I'm like, pony! Yes. It was Baby Lickety Split. I can tell you right now which pony that was. Baby Lickety Split. Yeah.
What was that like?
She was awesome. She was a Wink and Blink pony. I was really into the Wink and Blink ponies, and my favorite pony of all time was a Wink and Blink. And when I got her, it was like the biggest disappointment of that Christmas. I will never forget that feeling of disappoint, son. Come downstairs for Christmas, and there's everything, and all the toys that Santa leaves out for you and everything, and I wanted Baby Wink and Blink Moon Dancer. That's what I wanted. Moon Dancer. It's real simple, okay? I've got Big Moon Dancer. I've got a whole story worked out in my head for Baby Moon Dancer. All right, this needs to happen. Dad, you understand my priorities here? All right, good. Santa. Right. Hate to spoil it for anybody here who doesn't know. Right, so come downstairs, I'm like, yes, I'm gonna get my Baby Moon Dancer, it's gonna be great. Walk downstairs, and there's the Wink and Blink box. I'm like, yes, walk up. As I'm walking up, I notice something's wrong. This is not the right color hair for a baby. This is a green-haired, white-bodied pony. What the living? So I get up to it, I'm like, yeah! I'm just standing there, and it's Baby Gusty, and she's got a white body and purple leaves on her butt and green hair with a white stripe. And I'm going, this is not Baby Moon Dancer. But it's like, it's the one you wanted, right? And I turn around, I look at him, and even in my 7-year-old brain, I knew that it would be cruel of me to go, this isn't the right one, because the hope in his parental face was just shining through, and I went, yeah, this is exactly the one I wanted, Daddy, thank you. So, turns out this was the greatest pony ever. Because I gave no craps about her, she developed stories. Like, I just put this thing through torture, man. It's like, you know what we're doing today? We're going skateboarding. So she was like tortured, but because she was all rough and tumble, the personality I developed for her became rough and tumble. And then she became my favorite pony because I could do anything. I wasn't concerned about messing up her hair. I wasn't concerned about, making sure she stayed perfect white at all times. She was cool, man. I could take her, put her in my purse. Let's go. Woo! We're in church. What's up, Gusty? Woo! I'm sleepy too. Woo! And then one day, because we're rednecks and we have one of those big above ground pools, one day we were out playing in the pool and she was surfing on a frisbee like you do. You know, I was like, okay, now it's time for you to suntan, and I put her on the steps and I went to go swimming. And about 5 minutes later, I come back and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get Gusty. Where's Gusty? I'm looking over the edge, no Gusty. Look down to the ground, green hair everywhere. And my little heart just dropped, and I look, and I'm like hanging on the edge of this pool, and I look, and my eyes follow, and there's our German Shepherd. I don't remember what happened after that point. I know the dog would not come near me for about a week, and it was a bad, I sent a little ICU unit. Her eye had fallen out, her horn was chewed off, she's got these giant German Shepherd cut marks down her legs, little pony, her tail gone, most of her hair ripped out, and I'm just sitting here holding what used to be, like, to me, the most beautiful of all my ponies. Just, I have a little ICU unit with a little, like, IV bag and drip stand. I'm like, my brother's like, you know that's not actually gonna help. I'm like, shut up and let me have this! So, and I was, like, just devastated, because, you know, everything revolved around the personality of this pony. 180 some odd, well, not 180 at that point, but, you know, getting close to 180 ponies, everything revolved around this one pony, and now she was eaten by a freaking German Shepherd. Great. So I was just about to, like, toss in the towel and become a normal human being, and that's no fun, but I was, like, ready to pack it all in when this awesome new cartoon show came on called Beetlejuice. And I was like, living dead My Little Pony. So I buried her and then had her, like, force her way out of the earth. I was like, yes! So I played the whole rising from a grave thing, and my brother's like, what the hell is wrong with you? I'm like, she's back from the grave! And she lived in Castle Grayskull, and she drove a 1957 Cadillac Eldorado, and she hunted Barbie for fun, so she became the Beetlejuice, living dead zombie ghost monster of my My Little Pony community. And that is the reason I started drawing comic books, and that is the reason I became a professional cartoonist, and that's the reason I'm up here talking to you right now and have a beautiful art over in the other room. That's the story of Baby Gus. That moment right there. So, yay. I think we're about done. So I've yacked on and on and on about ponies. Yep, we're done. We have 1 minute left. Anybody have any more questions about
Most you ever sold a pony for?
Most I ever sold a pony for was at $800. $800. So, oh, real quick, by the way, real quick, one more thing I'm mad about. One more thing I'm mad about. You know the blind bag ponies?
Yeah.
So, you don't even know what you're buying. Don't even know what you're buying, because a lot of times they cut off the doodle and you have to, like, know the code and blah, 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 blah. That's some BS, and I'll tell you why. For $5 back in the day, $5, you got a set of 6. They were called petite ponies. Some of them were clear, some of them were regular, some of them were pearl essence, some of them had hair you could brush, but all of them had a base with a horseshoe cut in the bottom. Why a horseshoe? I'll tell you why a horseshoe. Because there were play sets where you could take the ponies, lock them into position, turn them like a key, and crap would happen. Lights would come on, things would move around. It was really cool. These things interacted with play sets for $5. Right now you're paying what? $2 a blind bag, you don't even know what you're getting? Just saying, insert the finger here. I hope you can see this. I'm doing it as hard as I can. So, yes.
They have someone cracked the code on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
They have a page. You can put in the code and it tells you what it is.
Oh my God, there's an app for that now? You guys, there's a blind bag app. That's hilarious. We're living in the future. Yay. All right, well, thank you so much for coming out, you guys. Come and visit me in the Artist Alley. I'm